Well, hello and welcome to your first lecture. This video and lecture is meant to give you an overview of how the lecture slides work and what you need to get out of them to help you be successful in this marketing course. So the lecture slides are going to give you content and information as if we were in a classroom and I was talking in front of you. Information that is helpful to you primarily for your assignments, but then secondarily also for your quizzes. Now, this is a zero-cost textbook course, meaning there is no textbook required. You can use one that's at the reserve desk, or you can purchase a used one. But the slides here are going to give you some of the terms that you need, but not all of the terms that you need. So as you review the lecture slides each week, you should probably look at the study guide before you dive into the lecture slides, see what terms you'll need to know for that week's topics. And as you're watching the lecture slides, you can tick off which terms have been explained to you through my lecture. That'll cover many of your topics, but it won't cover all of them. I don't cover all of your study guide material in these lecture slides because these lecture slides are meant to be fairly brief. So any terms in your study guide, which is related to your quizzes and final exam, that aren't covered in these lectures, you can go to the course resources section of the course resources, which is under the Start Here menu, and you can look for the textbook resources area, and it'll give you some websites like the AMA dictionary, and you can look up those terms there. So the combination of these lecture slides as well as the textbook resource websites will give you the content that you need to do your quizzes and also complete the assignments. Okay, so this is a Principles of Marketing course. And what that means is we start out by covering the building blocks of marketing, target markets, demographics, differentiation, and we build from there and advance towards things like promotional strategy and media buying. I know as marketing students, you're probably interested in, tell me about Facebook advertising and social media strategies and how expensive is a TV commercial. And those are all good things to know, but we have to start with a clear understanding of who's our target audience, what's the unmet need, how are we going to position ourselves, so that we're not just clamoring out to try to market to customers and we're not maximizing our strategy and our efficiencies to reach the best target audience with the best product offering. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you in this course. So first we'll do strategy, and then later we'll move on to more tactical stuff. On these slides, I'm not going to talk on every single slide because these lecture slides would get quite long. Some slides I might just say, read, which means I want you to read that content on your own, and it's not something I'm going to lecture on. So this picture of Prahlad Jani, he's an Indian man, and he's what we call a breatharian. Breatharians are Indian people, spiritual people, who believe that through their devotion and their prana, their life force, that they can live on breath alone, meaning they don't eat, and they can go through long several days without drinking. So I put this slide and this picture in here because it really challenges us to think about what do we actually need. And I pose that question to you because that is really what marketing is about, is understanding what do people need, how can we fill an unmet need that our target audience has and get them to buy a product that's going to satisfy that need and we can make a profit. So when we think about needs are really, people have this drive to satisfy an unmet need. Many of you in school because you want to improve your quality of life and your financial situation, and you're believing that an education is going to help you do that. And so maybe you're here and you want to be here vocationally, right? And you have this big gap. The larger the gap, the bigger the motivation to reduce the gap. That is where motivation comes in. And we as marketers learn how to find those gaps and maybe even expand those gaps. So much more than basic marketing strategies, we're going to also be talking about how do we stoke the fires of human psychology to create need. Because unmet need creates drive. So in this course, we're going to learn some of these secrets of consumers, how to get them to want to buy stuff, basically. And I ask that you use this knowledge for good, not evil. And that third bullet kind of cropped off here, he or she who asks questions cannot avoid the answers. So whenever you have questions, anything's unclear, please use the Canvas inbox, send me an email, and I can clarify accordingly. We also have discussion boards where students are meant to interact and help each other out, etc. You can learn more about me, that's what this slide is about, from my professional background, by going to the Start Here menu on Canvas. My resume is listed there, as well as a video kind of covering my background. But my education and my career was in marketing. So I started out in advertising agencies and then moved into marketing management positions. And you'll see the companies I worked for there in this slide. And at Jack in the Box, when I was 38, I actually had a bout of cancer. I had colon cancer, which runs in our family. I'm 53 now and I'm fine. And you can see some pictures there that I'm very much into health and nutrition. And that's a green juice that I drink all the time. I'm a father. I have 2 kids. You see pictures there. They're much older now. They're 19 and 16. But I grew up in San Diego, and I'm a beach rat, and grew up surfing and skating. And I don't skate as much anymore, but I do still surf. And I really enjoy working with students because you still have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and creativity, which I have a lot of that for some of my age. And that's part of why I chose marketing as a career. So if you're somebody who likes creative pursuits and coming up with ideas with solid business acumen behind it, then marketing can be a great career for you. If you want to learn more about me, go to the instructor background information in the Start Here menu on Canvas, and you can read my resume there. And if you have any questions about my background or how I got to the jobs that I had in marketing, ask, and I'll be happy to give you advice, especially if you're looking to come up with an interview or something like that and you want some tips. Oh, and then I should mention, yes, my undergrad was at San Diego State, and then my master's, my MBA was at University of San Diego, both with an emphasis. These next 2 slides are read slides. They refer to the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. So here's the situation. This isn't related to marketing, but this is a study tool for you all. Have you ever had a situation where you're in a class, you're taking notes, and what the instructor is saying is making sense in the moment? And then when you go home and you look at your notes, maybe the next day or several days later, they don't make any sense at all. So that's because of the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. And these slides talk about how if you space your reviews of your notes and your material, you'll increase the amount of information that you retain. So, and you can look at this slide here, and this is based on actual science. So my advice to you is find ways to review your material right after the lecture, and again later. So we're not in a classroom setting, but spaced review will do you wonders in helping you retain this information, not only in my class, but in other classes as well. And this is actually our last slide. So this is more of a welcome to the course slide. There's a second lecture that's going to get into the marketing mix. That's kind of our starting gate of this course. So let me just say I appreciate you signing up for the class. I'm here to work with you. So check out these slides each week, and that, along with the other resources, will give you what you need to complete assignments and the quizzes as well. All right, thanks for listening.